Hey everyone, welcome to Holistic Lifestyle Tips, Getting Real About the Woo Woo. I am Becky Russell, owner of Hope Essential, a wellness company, and I am a holistic lifestyle educator and an essential oil educator. I love to teach, and I have been on this holistic uh, journey for over 25 years, and I feel so strongly about it that I am sharing what I've learned along the way and hope that it will help you uh, be able to age with the quality of life. That's what I want for me. That's what I want for everyone. And the reason I feel so strongly about that is I was not blessed with great genes. And by all rights, in my 40s, I probably should have been diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. And I feel that my holistic lifestyle is what is helping me avoid that. Not that that's the end of the world, but if you can avoid it, of course you want to. And I'm not on any prescriptions or over-the-counter medications, and I'm 62, so I feel I've really dodged a bullet there so far. Not that I don't have any health challenges, because I do, but that's one I've been very diligent about. And uh, I just saw that disease treatment did not serve my family well, in my humble opinion. And so I took another route, and I just want to share what I've learned. And so holistic means treating the entire body, mind, body, and soul from the inside out, and not just treating symptoms, but getting to the root of what is going on. And the um, the conventional way is to you know you're you you're worried about paying money now for your good health, being proactive and preventative. And then you end up paying later to treat disease, and that rarely leads to quality of life as you age. So I am hoping to stop that for people. And I can't guarantee anything, but I do feel that if we do our best, that then toward the end, we can just not have any regrets, right? So every week I come up with a topic that's either addressing physical wellness, spiritual wellness, or emotional wellness. Sometimes it involves all three, and tonight I think is one of those. And you may be a little surprised by the topic, but it's financial health. And you may think, what does that have to do with holistic living? But honestly, if you are not financially healthy, then your stress is going to be pretty high. I think there's this statistic out there that most married couples, that's their number one thing they fight about. And if you are struggling to pay bills, it is very stressful. And if you feel hopeless, helpless, the stress is going to eat at you and affect every area of your life. So, financial health is very important. And I just want to stress when I do these segments, I'm not trying to tell you everything there is to know about that subject. It's just to raise your awareness and also to maybe point you in a direction or make you think a little differently. And then you do your research because, it's all about what fits you. So it's not just do whatever I say. I want you to do your own research. So the description of financial health is the state of one's personal monetary affairs. There are many dimensions, including the amount of savings you have, how much you're putting away for retirement, and how much of your income you're spending on fixed or non-discretionary expenses. And that's pretty, simple there. So this article that I was reading, I really love the tone of it because um, it's including things about the emotions behind the finances. And a lot of us are very emotional about money, right? So number one is make your finances personal. And at first, when I read that, I didn't really understand what that meant. But what they're saying is you need to focus on your situation and not worry about anyone else. And honestly, with the social media, with television, so many people telling you you should buy this, you need this. Um, Comparing yourself to others is the worst thing you can do on many levels, but financially it can be devastating because you're spending above your means. So no keeping up with the Joneses. You need to be real and live within your budget. Understand that your most important investment is yourself. I love this. I'm guilty of this, so I love having this reminder. Perfect example for this is at the beginning of my business, I wasn't even in it a year, and convention was coming up. I love conventions. I love traveling and getting away and being around people that share your passion. But I felt I had not earned the right to go because I was not making, very much money yet. Well, that's a backwards way of thinking. This is an investment in my future. And if I'm serious about this business, I should be surrounded by these other people, learn from them, and come back motivated and inspired and everything else, which is what happened. And so I am guilty of this. But if there's a skill you need to learn in order to advance in your job you know, um, or even just personally or whatever it is, take that time and use your resources to, um, you know, get that skill. And also, I just wanted to mention here too that this could be referencing also if you're in a job that you don't like, spend the time to figure out, um, what you would like to do. And that sort of leads into number three, earn income by doing something you enjoy. Not everyone is purpose driven. I am, but not everyone is. But um, I, if you hate going to your job every day, if you aren't even content, uh, maybe spend some time thinking about what would get you fired up and happy about it. We aren't guaranteed time on this earth. So to me, it just seems a little crazy to spend the majority of your week doing something you are miserable about. I that I just don't understand. Now, if you have to in temporarily until you find what you love or until you can make enough to at what you love to quit, that's another thing. We have to be practical. We don't want to go in debt unless we have to, right? So, um, this sort of goes into a next thing of what they call a side hustle. Um, a lot of people take on a direct sales kind of, network marketing, real estate investment, something like that, where they can get some passive income. And that's sort of their retirement fund. Um, and it doesn't even have to be a passion, I guess. For me, it would, but not everyone thinks that way. So, it unfortunately, most companies don't have the 401ks and all that anymore. So unless you have something giving you passive income, it's going to be very hard to have that retirement savings and all that. So I would really, if I had known what I know now as a younger person, or even having been able to tell my kids about this, I would have really encouraged that because it's really hard to get ahead now. And one thing um, also that's very important, number four, is start a budget. And I know budget is a dirty word for some people, they just hate it. But it truly is empowering when you can pay down that debt and, um, be debt free and not have that over your head. And your stress will really lessen. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on budget because there's all sorts of tools out there, but it is super important to minimize um, your debt. Uh, which number five, live below your means. Um, I can't tell you how many books and articles I've read about millionaires that the majority of them live beneath their means. And that surprised me because all we see on TV are people in mansions and driving fancy cars and the Rolexes and all that. But in reality, many, many millionaires live beneath their means and live in it with a budget. And number six, create an emergency fund. Things happen. And if you own a car, if you own a home, if I mean, if you unless you live in a bubble, things can happen. And probably car and medical expenses are the two big things that will put you in debt quicker than anything. So they tell you here that you should um, invest, put money away in an emergency fund before you worry about a retirement fund. Now, some people may disagree with this, but this is one thought because if you put money in a retirement fund, a lot of times there's penalties to get it out. And so you're hurting yourself when you do that. So just be very diligent about putting money away in an emergency fund before you worry about the retirement. And then number seven, pay off your debt. And I would caution you to be very careful how who you trust. If you have a lot of debt and you're really struggling with, not knowing what to do to get out from under it, I have some resources that I can direct you to. But when I worked at a mortgage firm, it was heartbreaking seeing the negative effect on credit scores from people who listen to their brother-in-law or their neighbor and they got the wrong advice and it set them back. So please do your research on that. Um, Talk to an expert. And I know quite a few people that I would feel comfortable having you talk to them. And um, another thing about bankruptcy, it used to be this like visions of horror when you heard that word. It's not that way anymore. And there's so many choices out there. I also have a good referral for that. So it's good to know what your choices are. Don't assume anything. Do your research and find out what your choices are. The only thing they say here is when you're paying off your debt, leave the mortgage for last because um, you need to pay off those other debts first. So don't try to do everything. Get those other debts paid off first, and then, sorry, then you can start paying your mortgage off early. But um, pay off your regular debt and put some in your retirement, and then put some towards your paying off your mortgage early. Invest for retirement. This is super important because again, if you want choices when you're older and you're only relying on the government and what they're going to do for you, that's a little scary. So, try and that's why a side hustle um, is a good thing. And then also trying to fund your own retirement. Make sure to have fun. Number nine. I need that carrot in front of me to make me do what's good and work. I like to work hard, but I want to play hard. So I need that. Um, I need to have some fun too. So you just have to make sure you're not going in debt having fun, right? So find fun things to do. Festivals don't cost very much. Um, I know here there's some music that happens on downtown squares that's free. So there are, hikes, whatever it is, but whatever is a treat for you, reward yourself when you really do a good job with putting money away or, whatever your goal is. And then number 10, stick with it. It's just like any other habit. You have to make small changes consistently over time until it becomes a habit. So be consistent. If you fall off, you buy that purse you shouldn't have, or the shoes, or whatever. Um, think real hard. Maybe you can take it back, or um, it's okay. Get back on track and do better. So I would love to know what you thought about tonight's subject, and also share in the comments what your favorite way is to track your expenses, or a book you've read. I read The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and that really was super helpful for me with money blocks I didn't even know I had. So I would love to know what's helped you to get financially healthy. And also be sure and check out my website, hopeessential.com. If you've missed any of the previous videos, they're all on there, and some other DIY videos. There's holistic information, and of course, my essential oils. And I am on Facebook. My business page is Hope Essential LLC, and I follow me there, and you will get notices of events, and you know also a lot of educational information on the oils and holistic living. So till next time, choose you, choose natural, choose now.